Hello, I'm Mike Sass. I'm the founder and president of Catalyst Academy, and we're excited to be here today. We're excited to have what we think is the first of many sessions we're going to have with you to help you with your money. And to let you know a little bit about me, this is an encore career for me right now. This is a second act, so to speak. I started my first career in my life as a school teacher, school principal, and school superintendent. And after retiring, we came out here to Charlotte, and I'm looking forward to helping people for a big significant need that I think is in our community, helping people with stress with their personal finances. And I'm really excited today to have Brian Hines here today. Brian, too, is in a second act, so to speak, in his life. He is volunteering with Catalyst Academy to serve as a financial coach and trainer. Brian also is not new to service. Brian also is a servant in Huntersville. He just got recently elected to the town of Huntersville as a commissioner. Also, service has been a part of Brian's life. Brian's had a successful career as a residential consultant, investor, and developer, and has had an opportunity to retire when he's 43 years old. He's a gifted speaker, a man with a big heart, and someone with the wisdom to help people, all of us, with our finances. And before we spend some more time with Brian, I'd like to tell you a little bit more about Catalyst Academy. Catalyst Academy is a nonprofit that's registered in North Carolina. We're an IRS 501c3 tax-exempt educational and charitable organization. We're really dedicated to supporting and helping families with their finances. And how we do that is with providing unbiased financial coaching and training. We're not selling any financial products or services. And while we're new to Charlotte, we're not new to helping people with their finances. We've done these workshops in Los Angeles, Chicago, and Baltimore, and our belief system is very strong. We believe that, number one, we have to motivate people to take action. We then work on educating people to get them up to speed on their finances, and then empowering them to be successful and economically self-sufficient. And a lot of times what I do is like to talk about, to get people motivated, is what's the why? What is the why? Why did Catalyst Academy start? And really, it's three simple things. I got married when I was in college. I had my sons when I was very young. We spent a little bit more than we took in every single year, and we had some crushing student loan debt and crushing credit card debt. And I came out of that with a plan that got my family out of debt, and now I had two takeaways when I came away. Number one, I've got the key and know the key to help people with their personal finances, but really more important too, I have a better understanding of the plight people face, and we at Catalyst Academy are able to help people without any judgment, without any shame, and helping them get through their life. A minister in town got to know me and work with me, and he had a really good phrase. He said, "Your misery has become your ministry." And I think that was my why a little bit. And Brian, I'd like to kind of find out your why. What got you interested in being a financial educator?
Well, first of all, Mike, thank you so much for what a great introduction, and thank you so much for allowing me to be here with you today. You know, when you look back at your life, I mean, I was very blessed to have a great financial mentor in my life. You know, my parents were great. They gave me that solid foundation that I needed to start life on the right foot when it came to money. Something they don't teach in high school or college. So when my wife and I got married over 21 years ago, we had crushing student loan debt that I married into. But we knew that if we wanted to meet our goals and objectives, we needed to really put a plan in place. So by doing that and following a plan, you know, is able to provide my wife and I financial independence, and through that has given me the heart of a teacher, to where I can go and I can sit down and talk to other people when they come to me and ask questions. I can give them based off experience.
And that's what everybody needs in their life. And I guess what everybody needs is also, what I call this next section, the challenge. You know, Brian, everyone seems to start their New Year's with resolutions. And more often than not, New Year's resolutions start with some kind of goal about their personal finances. Can you talk a little bit and share with us a little bit what roadblocks you see that maybe gets in the way of people being successful with their personal finances, or what gets in the way to help them get what they want in their life?
Well, sometimes, Mike, it's really they set too lofty of a goal. You know, it's kind of like most people want to go to the gym and they want to lose so many pounds, but they've never been to the gym before. You know, sometimes you just need to get out and walk before you start running. And it's no different really when it comes to money. You know, really derive a plan and say, why do I want to do this? You know, because most of the time people get to the point where they're sick and tired of being sick and tired before they really do anything that's really going to change their life.
Right. Baby steps.
Baby steps.
Don't try to lose the 25 pounds. Say, I'm going to lose 5 pounds this month.
That helps.
Hey, Brian, the other thing is when people have debt in their life, there's all kinds of debt that are hurting families these days. Can you talk about that kind of debt people have, and what are some strategies you've used to help them be effective?
Yeah, well, I tell you, debt is crushing the American families today. You know, 60% of families can't afford 1 month's of emergency fund, you know, and really it's through credit cards, student loan debt, and student loan debt is really hurting families right now. And credit cards, they don't realize the amount of interest rates that they're paying on a monthly basis based off of just not being able to pay off their credit cards.
And there's a lot of sleepless night for families just by living paycheck to paycheck. If we can get families to get a little bit of an emergency fund, they're going to sleep better at night and have better health.
That's right.
Well, great advice, and we're now going to take a little break. We've made an animated video that I hope you enjoy on the importance of financial wellness. I hope you enjoyed that animated video. It's going to be very beneficial to enjoy these and get a lot out of these videos throughout the segment that we have today. We're back, and we talked about one of the things Catalyst Academy does is provide support for individuals and families. And Brian, can you share with me a little bit some of the priorities that you focus on when we spend time with families talking about their financial situation as a coach?
Yeah, one of the things I do first is really to sit down and go all the way back to the planning stage. You know, all the way back to the very beginning. You know, why are they in the situation that they're in? You know, and then figure out from there, where do they want to go? But we have to really look at the programming of what got them here. Is it, you know, they have a fear of money, you know, because of the way that they were raised, their mom and dad, you know, had issues with money. You know, what are those, and identify those so we can really start off on the right foot as we're setting our plan before we take it to the implementation process.
You are so right. I've always found the same, is that money, the math part is easy with managing money. It's the motivation and figuring out your emotions tied to the money that's the most critical piece. And it sounds like you're playing psychologist with families, but really you're getting at that motivation that'll help them be successful.
Right.
You know, as we work with families, oftentimes you see families having really rough debt, and I know that you've got some excellent ideas and excellent strategies to help families when they have deep debt and how you get them out.
Yeah, well, the first thing we do is we take a look at all their debts, and then we just basically prioritize it. You know, we usually do it based off a snowball method. You know, what we want to do and try to identify is those easiest debts that we can pick off, because the more that we can pick off, the faster it seems to kind of build on itself. And it gives the client the power, the staying power to continue to go and keep the process going. Otherwise, the bite is too big, they'll never get through it.
Right.
And they'll give up.
Having that little bit of success and snowballing on that little bit of success helps and helps and helps.
Absolutely.
I oftentimes try to tell people when they're dealing with money, I'm not going to tell you it's going to be easy, but I'm going to tell you it's going to be worth it.
Right.
So a lot of times people maybe have an initial feeling of, great, Mike and Brian are working with me. I'm feeling I got someone that has my back, somebody that's going to help me out. But then once they get going, they might lose some momentum. We have to figure ways to keep people moving through that first roadblock.
Right. It's the accountability part of it.
You know it. And again, we have another animated video for you to see on financial literacy and the importance of being financially literate in our society. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed the information we provided you about financial literacy. We're now ready to talk about another area that Catalyst Academy deals with. Earlier in the show, we talked about how we support and help families, but another important part of what we do is go into businesses. We like to go into businesses and do a lunch and learn or some type of a training program to help businesses and employees. And Brian, as you see us doing those types of things, why is it beneficial for both businesses and individuals to have those kind of in-office kind of programming?
Well, I think it's another value add for employees, especially for companies. It's no different than a health wellness program, for, meeting goals and objectives for, losing weight or what have you. But I think what often gets overlooked is there's a lot of employees that leave based off of they need more money, but they love their job. Well, what if they were able to take control of their money? Because a lot of people don't have that financial footing, per se. But what if they did? What if they were in control of their money and could stay, and it wasn't about the money anymore?
Absolutely.
How much does it cost a business to keep somebody from losing somebody?
When we talk to business leaders in the area, they talk the number one concern they're having is retaining good employees, because Charlotte has such a competitive marketplace. That's the number one issue for employees. I oftentimes also make sure when we talk to employers, there's other economic benefits too. Just think about people paying attention at work. Someone's not getting on the internet looking for divorce lawyers because they're having money fights at home.
That's right.
Or also dealing with health problems that people suffer. There's such a big link between health problems and stress.
That it is.
Yeah, one of the things we find when we work with Catalyst is I sometimes ask an employer, can we just use rounding error in your health insurance budget and use that as a budget for providing programs for people? It's very easy when you talk to ministers, business leaders, politicians, that you say, people have stress with finances in America, don't they? And usually people nod their head. Then you say, when people have stress, they also have health problems, don't they? And then people nod their head. And when people have health problems, what happens? They get migraine headaches, they get stomach aches, they have sleepless nights, they have anxiety and depression. And what people end up doing then is they go to get medical care. And what happens is when they have these financial problems, more oftentimes than not, they're having health problems. That's affecting an employer's bottom line with their health insurance costs.
That it is.
But secondly, it's affecting the life and vitality of that person to be successful at work.
That's right.
You know, Brian, one of the things that we like to do too is oftentimes when we're dealing with millennials, they talk about we need some training about things we've never taught in school, and one of those things are money. You know, earlier in the show we talked about people having crushing student loan debt, crushing credit card debt. But what kind of things would you be teaching an employee that was at an office that was a 25 or 26-year-old and just said, I want to start learning how to invest?
Yeah. Well, we just sit down with them on a one-on-one, and we just talk to them and we broaden their environment, with basically the possibilities, whether we talk about the company's 401k plan, employee stock purchase plan, and then we basically get into basic money management. We start from the very beginning, and just basically teach them, the difference between a gross paycheck and a net paycheck and taxes and all those other things, and try to just get them the strong foundation to where they can learn from that.
What I find interesting is we're dealing with people that are teachers, nurses, engineers. When you start getting into the jargon that you mentioned, Roth IRAs,
Right.
Tax-exempt programming, tax-exempt investments, people are scratching their head. And I think what we're finding as in society now is people are going to be more accountable for managing their own retirement in the future than maybe it was 20, 30, 40 years ago. You worked at a job for 30 years, and the company took care of you with a pension. And it seems like it's becoming increasingly important for young people to make sure that they're managing their nest egg, first to build a nest egg.
Right. And nobody's going to take better care of your money than you are.
I agree with that 100%. Yes. And I think one of the things, I had an experience recently, we talked to some people in their 50s, the gray-haired people, and said, what would you tell the younger version of yourself about money management? You know what was interesting to hear? Near to a person, they all answered it, start putting a little bit of money away when I was in my 20s. Just $20 a week,
Right.
A small amount. With compound interest, will grow and grow.
I do this exercise, Mike, with my kids. And I say, if you take a penny and you double it every day, what will you have in 30 days? And my kids go through this exercise.
And they're thinking, not that much?
They're thinking, the answer comes from $200 to $500. If you double a penny a day, it's over $11 million.
It's incredible. Yeah.
Try picking up that many pennies.
Exactly, the power of compound interest too. And
Right.
a lot of times when people are a little bit older, sometimes one of the things we've been promoting for people is they think it's too late. But no, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago.
Yes.
But the second best time to plant a tree?
Right
Today.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's what we got to teach people.
Yes.
So no, Brian, thank you very much. And we've got another animated video coming your way to talk about the connection between finances and health, and we hope you enjoy it. Welcome back. We talked earlier in the show that Callis Academy helps families and individuals. The second group we help are businesses and help them do programs and lunch and learns in their businesses to help their staff. And the third group of people that we work with are other nonprofits. We're a nonprofit, but Callis Academy works with other nonprofits One of the things that Brian's spoken to me about on a number of occasions is the research that's been coming out about North Carolina's Charlotte is one of the bigger cities, or the biggest city in the state, and the economic mobility people suffer from here. Of the 50 largest states in America, Charlotte has the lowest economic mobility. If you're born relatively poor, you tend to stay relatively poor. And city officials, nonprofits are all trying to work together to correct that, to provide some support systems in place to help people. One of the things Catalyst Academy likes to do is contract with career centers. We would work with churches. We would work also with other financial education groups to help families with money. And I think, Brian, I know that that's a big mission you have on financial education.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, one of the things that when people find financial independence, they're much more likely to give and give more often. You know, and what that does, it really helps all facets of America. Really on the local level, because people get more involved, you know, on local charities, whether it's going to work in a soup kitchen or, you know, doing a food drive or just serving through their church, and they give more financially or monetarily than they typically do because they have financial freedom. When you obtain financial freedom by having a good financial foundation in coaching, you know, you don't necessarily need to spend more money because you found your peace. So then you can go out into those communities and you can give and give more and give cheerfully.
Yeah, I really love your point, and actually you're a living proof of that by having some financial independence. We're benefiting as a nonprofit that you're volunteering your time and talent to help us. The city of Huntersville's benefiting because you're volunteering your time to be a commissioner. And I think that a lot of times when people understand what money, when you're struggling with money, everything's about money. But you ultimately, at the end of the day, know that your best peace comes not from gaining more money, it's just having peace of mind.
That's correct. Yes.
You know, oftentimes we talk about, when we work with Catalyst, is we try to talk to people to motivate them about why they should care. It seems like people need to care no matter where you are on the political spectrum about people being economically self-sufficient, because it's good for individuals, it's good for our tax base, and it's good for people's in their heart.
Right.
You know, Brian, one of the things that we like to look at the big picture level too is what more we can do to help people that might be still struggling with debt. And what happens if they try issue after issue after issue? What can we do for them at that point? They tried every challenge to help get out of money problems.
Well, you know, I think persistence. A lot of times people just are right around the corner from success, you know, and what I find is people give up just a little bit too early, you know, and it's the persistence. It's the implementation and being persistent.
Yeah, I think one of the things that makes Catalyst Academy unique is we focus on those types of things and those behaviors that are barriers to success. One of the biggest barriers is not being able to defer gratification. That ability just to delay gratification will be all the difference in the world.
Right.
One of the things you had mentioned was they quit just too soon, as I like that example of the stone cutter. He does 999 whacks to try to cut that stone, and then maybe that 1,000th is the one that cracks it. And was it that 1,000th crack? Or no, it was the 999 before that made that happen.
Right.
And I just know that going forward with Catalyst Academy, we're excited to have someone like you to be able to support us. We're very supportive and happy about the guidance you've provided. I look forward to working with you and developing opportunities to help people with their money. One of the things we're very proud of is we want to be able to reach out to businesses here in Charlotte, individual families, churches in Charlotte to support them. One of the things people don't know, even though we're relatively new, Catalyst Academy has over 5,000 social media followers on Twitter and Instagram. We send out daily posts every day with some little motivation piece. It's not always the math that we send out, it's something to motivate people to pay attention every day. It might be a Friday afternoon and our millennials get a Twitter post that talks about, you want to spend $20 on this carry-out pizza, or you can spend $20 on all of these groceries. And just sometimes that little bit of a reminder will help people.
Absolutely.
We're very excited again for doing this show. We hope this is the first of many shows we can do together to focus on issues. We feel that in the future, I think some of the shows that we might contemplate doing, I think one of them is things that are going to happen when you're an adult. Maybe it's renting versus buying a house.
Yes.
Maybe it might be what things do people need to know before they purchase a vehicle.
Great topics.
What about a show about insurance? All those things they need to know about medical insurance, or those things they need to know about purchasing insurance in their life. So I think there's a lot of good opportunities that we can do to work together because people need your wisdom.
And yours as well.
I think that's a good combination that we have together.
Yes, that we do. Thanks for having me.
Well, we're very excited to do this, the first of many, and we have a final animated video that we put together for Catalyst called Catalyst Support, and it kind of shows the steps that people can take to get some help that they need to be successful. And again, thanks again, and look forward to being here again soon.
Thank you.